hello. Welcome to the podcast. I'm Maleko.
Hey, I'm Flash.
And this week on our web show, we are teaching you how to do fun things in quarantine. Yesterday, we worked out. I wouldn't consider that fun, but Flash certainly looked like he was enjoying it.
How do you feel today? Are you sore? Do you have pains in places you didn't know existed?
I certainly don't want to do that again. I'll tell you that.
Once again, it's just so funny to me because let's call you portly, and you have an actual fitness instructor as your wife, but you have a free personal trainer.
I didn't talk to her for about 2 hours after that podcast yesterday, so it wasn't until a couple hours later I finally said, "Thank you, honey. I enjoyed that."
I went. I was actually watching it this morning, and no one was having more fun yesterday than Lauren, gleefully yelling at us to do exercises while she's sipping her margarita, by the way, on the couch.
Fantastic stuff. Well, let's introduce everyone to today's guest here. He's the owner of Bevy. He has been a prime go-to bartender in Honolulu's nightlife cocktail culture scene for many years now, and we've had him on the show a couple of times. We're happy to have him back. Joining us from Bevy is Christian Self. Thank you so much for being here, buddy.
Hey, fellas, how's it going?
Christian, just to be clear, he's not a bartender at Bevy. He owns the place.
Oh, I thought I made that clear. I didn't make that clear. Sorry about that, Christian.
I don't know.
The owner.
I tune you out when you talk. I wasn't paying attention.
When you own a bar, you do everything. So bartend, sweep the floors, clean the toilets, same thing.
Christian, thanks for being here today, buddy. I really appreciate you taking some time to join us. Now, are you going into the bar every day, or did you just go in just for us today?
No, I'm in here pretty much every day. There's so much, even though we're closed at the moment, there's so much there's to do. There's things to clean because we got shut down so abruptly. It's turning off lights, turning off breakers, making sure that we can save as much money as we can in the interim.
Christian, aren't you really just going there every day to drink because it's a full professional, fully stocked bar?
Well, I mean, when in Rome,
he's cleaning.
He's cleaning. Watch those expiration dates on those bottles. The whiskey can only sit in the bottle for so long before it turns.
Yeah. I think 7 days. I think. Oh.
So you're going to be helping us with a couple of cocktails today, but before we get there, let's come up with a word of the day today, because while we make drinks, we need to be drinking. So Christian, you can help us out. Pick a word that we're going to say a bunch today, and let's get the people in home quarantine as wasted as possible.
Oh, really? That's the word.
Wow.
Let's see. What can we go with? I think let's use the word liquor. Because
liquor.
I hardly know her.
Liquor is a great word.
That's an oldie but a goodie, Christian. Haven't heard that one in a while.
It never gets old. All right, so the word of the day is liquor. Every time you hear the word of the day, raise your cocktails. Hopefully you're watching this show with the pre-made Bev. Christian, what are you drinking? What's your drink of choice at the moment? Or are you waiting to make it for the show?
I was trying to be somewhat coherent for the show, so I may imbibe the cocktail that I'm going to drink afterwards.
Now, Christian, when we had you on the show the last time, correct me if I'm wrong, I feel like we were surprised because you're obviously, one of the top mixologists in the state. You make all these crazy fancy cocktails, and I think you told us when you get home after work, you just like to pop open a beer.
Yep, pretty much. It's just it's so light, cold, and refreshing. It's just something about having a beer right after work. It's
Is it also like a lazy thing? Like you've been, making drinks, all these crazy drinks all night long for everyone. When you get home, you don't want to do that anymore. You just want to get right to the alcohol part.
Somewhat, as a chef or a cook, you after cooking all day, the last thing you want to do is go home and cook dinner.
Yeah. Well, thankfully you don't mind making drinks for us today. We appreciate it.
Not at all. It's actually quote unquote a day off. So
is there any with Kakaako and with salt, I mean, you guys are just on a TBD basis for reopening at this point. Do you think that there's ever going to be a point? California and Texas have both loosened their liquor to go laws, where you can now deliver liquor in those states, or take out to go liquor that previously wasn't allowed by law as of a week or two ago. Do you see that happening in Hawaii anytime soon? Fingers crossed.
Yeah, fingers crossed. I would hope so, but we haven't heard any rumors or any talk coming out of the Liquor Commission or the governor's office. So, like, again, it'd be all very, very hopeful.
Well, there's already a couple of things that are possible for people. Up until a couple of weeks ago, you could get liquor delivered from like grocery store delivery. Like Safeway would bring you bottles of wine or or some, yeah, you can get that ordered. And then just recently we discovered we actually did takeout growlers from Tex 808 over here out in Hawaii Kai last week. You just go in there with your big empty vessel and they fill it up for you and you take it out. Why can't we do that with say pre-batched beverages and stuff like that?
Yeah, I think the one rule that I've seen for people being able to take like cocktails home is they treat it like a bottle of wine. So if you go to a place and you take out with food, they can open a bottle of liquor, reseal it, and let you take it home. It's got to go in the trunk of your car. So it can't be, classed as an open container in your vehicle. Growlers and stuff, if it's a brew pub or something else like that and they're making their own beer, then you've been able to do that all along. That's why everybody, goes down to Beer Works and Aloha and Waikiki Brewing, and they take their growlers, go in, have a couple of pints, and then take home a whole bunch more.
So if you were serving food as takeout, then we could also take out pre-batched cocktails, maybe.
Not a pre-batched cocktail. It's got to be a bottle of spirits, a beer that can be opened and then resealed, or a bottle of liquor that can be opened and resealed.
How come more people aren't doing that? That seems like a gold mine.
Yeah, you would think so, but maybe because we're sitting on inventory that has a lot more value than if I just tell you like a bottle of booze that's at a grocery store price.
Oh, right. That makes sense.
That makes sense.
We're kind of or at least I am. I'm kind of holding on to what we have here in the hope that, we just get through this and, might be by the end of April and we're able to reopen business back as usual.
But, one way that you could, justify the price is if you were allowed to, let's say, pre-batch, let's call it a gallon of old fashions.
Yeah.
If you were able to pre-batch cocktails and have it in some sort of sealed container that played by whatever the rules are, that people were able to take home, people would definitely, I would think, pay a premium for that, in particular from places such as your establishment, which has, has so much critical praise over the years. What and who do you think we need to talk to make this happen, Christian?
Let's make it happen, Christian.
Asking for a friend, and by friend I mean me.
I mean, I would talk to at hawaii.gov, talk to Mayor Caldwell, and then try and get hold of the Liquor Commission, even though they're out of session at the moment.
We just had an interview with the Lieutenant Governor. We should have asked him then, Flash. We wasted our time asking him about PPEs.
I was just thinking, what were we thinking asking these silly questions about the coronavirus when there was more important questions to be asked that we forgot about, like how the hell can we get home liquor delivery?
Damn it, Flash! You failed me for the last time.
I dropped the ball. Listen, we'll get the Lieutenant Governor back on, and that'll be our first question for him for sure.
All right. So what was the word of the day? I forgot what it was.
Liquor.
Liquor. Hey!
You hardly even knew her. So Christian.
All right. So the word of the day is liquor. He's going to make us 2 cocktails today. That's the point of this. We've got to get going, or Instagram's going to cut us off.
Yeah.
So
right.
Christian, why don't we get started with the first beverage of the day? Now, remember the last time we had you on the show, we started talking about those TGI home blended drinks. Are you going to be making us any blended drinks today?
Not today. I've unplugged all my blenders, trying to save electricity, mate.
Good enough.
Act like you have blenders in there in the first place, Christian. Bevy's never seen a bartender or a blender. Come on.
I want ice cream drinks. Damn it.
we've had a couple blended cocktails of the day, just if I really want to pain the staff a little bit.
I love it. I love it. Well, Kristen, why don't you get started here? Give us the ingredient list for the first drink and what will you be making for us?
Well, I'm going to start with one of my favorite things to drink right now is a mint julep. So
Ooh.
I'm going to take some High West double rye, but you can take any bottle of liquor, you know, like whiskey wise. You can go with rye. You can go with a good high content bourbon. We're going to take a little bit of just a simple syrup. This is really easy. You can make this at home. Just take any like white sugar, superfine baker's sugar, mix it 1 part sugar, 1 part water, and just like dilute it down. So then all the sugar dissolves. Actually,
do you have to heat up the water? Like, do you boil the water and add the sugar? Is that how you make that?
You can actually do it that way if you'd like. You can actually just add water and sugar and just like stir it around until the sugar dissolves into it. So it's pretty easy. You can do it cold. I often do it in a cold way. I don't really like to add heat to that too much.
It's really simple. I wonder if that's why they call that simple syrup.
Does adding heat to the water with the sugar change the taste?
Not really. It doesn't, but it does actually help the process speed up a bit.
Got it. Okay.
Then,
good to know. All right. So we got whiskey, simple syrup.
And then I went to my garden on my balcony and I picked out all this bunch of really good like fresh mint. So all you're going to need is just very simple, 3 ingredients.
Fresh mints. I like that. Now, what are you doing to the mint there?
So I was just picking it off the stems. That's what I've been kind of doing to keep myself busy. Okay. And then, so all you're going to do is going to take our julep cup. You can use any vessel. You can use a glass, whatever you want.
Hey, Christian, push your laptop back just about 6 inches. Push it back. There you go.
That's what she said.
Hey, wow. Christian on fire today. Jesus Christ.
Okay, it's wow. My ugly mug. All right. So we're going to take the mint, like a nice generous bunch of mint here, add that into our julep cup. Going to take about like a shot of our homemade simple syrup. So about an ounce.
So at this point, have you put any ice in the tin or no?
Not at all. What we're going to do is we're just going to take the simple syrup and the mint. We're just going to infuse that together. Good thing to do is if you take your mint, hold it in your hand, give it a little smack. You can just drop it in. That kind of opens up all the capillaries, so it opens up all the mint essence.
Capillaries.
Smack that mint.
Wow, capillaries should have been the word of the day.
Here I have my version of our version of a muddler. You might have something at home that you can use if you don't have a muddler that just has like a nice flat edge that you can kind of just.
Flash, I saw something like that in your house the other day.
It's a oh. I see where you're going with that. I thought you were talking about my molcajete, but no, you're talking about the other thing in my house. Got it.
You also like big.
Sorry, Christian.
So what we're going to do is just going to lightly press and bruise the mint into the syrup. Just give it 1 and 2. You're not trying to pulverize the mint at all. So all you've got there is you got your mint, you got your simple syrup all in there. The mint essence should be infusing with the sugar right now. And then we're just going to add a double shot of whiskey. I'm going to use a high rest or rye. That's my going to be my bottle of liquor of choice here.
Liquor!
Like liquor!
Liquor!
I should be making this drink. I'm drinking my margarita, but I should be drinking that. That looks delicious.
Well,
most people at home.
Tuesday, so I probably should have done a margarita, but.
Most people at home aren't going to have a jigger. What would you recommend for measuring for an at-home bar?
I would recommend like a measuring cup.
What about a shot glass? Can I use a shot glass?
Use shot glasses that you can use.
Oh, sure. That's a good idea. No.
You can use all kinds of things, like add in a couple tablespoons, go like 4 tablespoons of liquor, and you got about like 1.5 ounces.
Oh yeah, tablespoon. Yeah, I've got measuring spoons. That works. Okay.
So 1 shot, if you're going to some bar that sucks, is 1 ounce.
Yeah. But if you go to like, you know, like good quality bars, like, you know, Pint and Jigger and all these other places, then they're always going to give you like basically a double shot right off the bat.
Right.
So.
Christian, you know, none of these places are open anymore, right?
No, neither Bevy either.
Too soon, Flash. Too soon.
Too soon? Too soon? Okay.
Yeah. And I just added in some fresh cracked ice. And just stir it.
So the ice is the last thing to go in then?
Ice is the last thing to go in. You want to stir it up so the ice dilutes a little bit.
And then he's adding more ice on top of that.
A little bit.
Yeah. Why do you put the ice in last?
Well, we've already combined the liquor, the mint, and the sugar. So then the last thing we need to do is just add like the ice to help dilute, and also just to get it all nice and chilled down for us. Then we're just going to add a little bit of fresh mint on top as our garnish. Give it a julep spoon. Get rid of some rogue ice. And there you go.
Oh, I love it.
Fresh mint julep.
Cheers.
3 ingredients. Cheers, gentlemen.
Cheers.
I was able to follow along and have that liquor. Oh, it's so good.
Liquor.
Oh, it's so good. So that's always one of my favorite go-tos.
What an easy cocktail to make, and yet it sounds so sophisticated. When you said mint julep, I envisioned myself sitting next to my sunny bonnet bride at a Kentucky Derby under the hot Kentucky sun with all of my money on She's Got It Riding, who is expected to finish first by 12.
Maleko, that was very, very specific. Jesus.
Did I paint the picture?
Hey, Christian.
Yeah.
Some people in their mint juleps use, you know, sweet and sour, some sort of citrus mixer, but you don't. Why is that?
That's the old Kentucky way. I mean, that's, you know, how they've been making mint juleps since the 1500s.
Yeah,
so,
Flash,
so
don't question old recipes.
No. But I want him, for the people out there listening. It's like how people bastardize margaritas. It's usually because you put too much sugar and sweetness in it. So what Christian did is he made the proper actual mint julep recipe.
Right. So that's what we go for at Bevy. We make all our stuff, all our classics, the way that they would do it when they were originally created. So
I love
Alrighty.
it. I love it. Excellent.
So
that's fantastic.
Christian, before we get into drink number 2, quickly, what should every basic home bar in self-isolation have right now?
You should have, basically, you're going to need probably a set of these, which is going to be like a shaker or a mixing tin set, like a Boston shaker, a glass and a tin. You should have, you know, some kind of measuring device. Like a jigger is always works. Or you can eyeball it and just go with taste. I recommend having a strainer, so you can strain out ice if you want just like a nice cocktail to go straight up, like the next one we're going to make. And I go with one of these, which is a fruit press. So
yes,
juicer.
That's key.
Yeah,
that's key.
Fresh citrus out.
That's the one piece I'm missing from my bar. I've got everything else. I've got a juicer, but it's not quite. I mean, it's not meant for that. It's meant for other
like
citrus
and other things.
Yeah.
So Christian, obviously, like a strainer and a fruit press is not something you're going to find at, let's say, I don't know, Safeway, Whole Foods, whatever. Where do you recommend purchasing these more advanced bar tools?
If you want really like professional stuff, you can go to places like Williams-Sonoma, Complete Kitchen down in Kahala. I'm sure that these places aren't open right now, but you actually can find these things. You can find them at Long's. You can find them at Safeway. You can find them at Whole Foods. Yeah.
Really? Oh, wow.
I found a lot of my bar tools on Amazon. I mean, just the variety and the ease of access is great. Now, some of the stuff that I've gotten in the past has been flimsy and clearly, you know, novelty items, but you can find some good stuff.
Yeah, I also, my little secret spot is actually Don Quixote.
Ah, yes.
They have all the
DQ.
Japanese stuff, which is awesome.
Don Quixote in general is a store that people are sleeping on right now that have a lot of stuff that a lot of other places don't.
Oh, right.
I like their liquor selection myself. I mean, you go in there, you find bottles of spirits that you can't find anywhere else. Like you'll go in there and you'll look through, you know, the wine or the whiskey section, and you'll see bottles that you just don't see in retail stores unless you've got an ins with someone who knows how to get certain spirits. DQ actually has a pretty good selection.
Yeah, they have a great liquor selection. I'm always surprised at what you find in there. It's oftentimes if other places are closed, they say go down to Don Quixote, you'll find good prices, good selection.
Do they have a good Japanese whiskey selection there?
They do. Of course, no, it's really hard to get hold of like any Hibiki or Suntory products, but they have all the Mars stuff, Mika, the Awais. They have a whole bunch of different stuff, like from the Matsui, which is some of my favorite stuff now, which is really, really good. Like if you like the Sakura cask or the Mizunara cask, that's super, super good.
Wow. I don't know. I barely recognize any of those names, but I'll take your word for it.
Yeah. If you're going to be holed up at home and you need to stock up on your liquor, you want some Japanese whiskey, just give Don Quixote a try. You'll be fine.
Yeah.
Now you mentioned Complete Kitchen earlier, and I just went to go double check. Complete Kitchen actually is still open, and they're maintaining a supply of certain things in their store just for people who are quarantining at home, so you can make special requests.
Yeah, they're a local company. Support local, shop local, people.
Absolutely. All right, let's get into drink number 2.
All right, drink number 2. I've had a little bit of Cuban jazz playing off in the background. So I'm going to make one of my favorite Cuban cocktails, but using some local products. So we're going to make ourselves a daiquiri.
Nice.
Ooh, I love this.
Yeah.
Take your little shaker tin. Seeing as Maleko drank all the margaritas, I can't make those today. I'm gonna just take the juice of a whole lime here.
One whole lime.
My juicer has a little bit of a fancy little measuring cup on it, so I can kind of measure it out pretty easy. But it's going to come out to be about an ounce of lime juice.
That is a fancy juicer. Look at that.
William Sonoma, mate. I think it was like $20.
Wow, worth it.
Brilliant. Again, we're going to go back to our grab our simple syrup that we made and prepared earlier. We're going to match that. We're going to match it by about I like to go a little bit less than 1-to-1, so I go about 3 quarts, so 3 parts sugar to 4 parts sour. Then we're going to add a little bit of Juliana Rum Works. This is their white rum blend. And these guys are over on the Big Island, and they're doing really good stuff over there. And I'm going to take a blend of 2 different rums. So we're going to use Juliana, and we're going to use Kohana Kea. So we're going to add a little bit of our Hawaiian cane blended rum with a little bit of our rum agricole to give it like a little bit of funk and flavor, which is some of my favorite stuff. So I'm going to about like a shot and a half of the Juliana. Put that right up front there. With about half a shot of the Kohana Kea, the rum agricole. Then literally it's just a matter of just shaking it up. Excuse me while I dip behind. So just generous load of ice in there.
Maleko, is your mouth watering right now?
This thing looks delicious, man. I'm over here taking notes as quickly as I can, trying to see how much of this stuff I have in my kitchen.
Well, I mean, you could use any rum. I just really love this stuff. I mean, like I said, I mean, it's support our local companies during this time. And we're just going to take our strainer, just strain out all the ice, apart from all the little like flecks, leave them like sitting right on top.
Oh gosh, that looks so good. Oh, I want to be sitting at your bar right now so badly.
Yeah, I would love everybody to be sitting at our bar right now.
So would everybody. Christian, once again, can you name the two specific rums, the brands and the type of rum?
Yeah, so I'm using the Kakaako, which is their rum agricole, and they're a company out in Kunia. And then the other one is I'm using the Kuliana. It's the Hui Hui. That's their blended white rum. I'm just going to lay a little bit of a fresh lime on top of that thing as a garnish. There you go, gents.
Oh my God, look at that.
Rum Daiquiri.
Oh man, that looks like a thing of beauty. Enjoy, Christian.
That's Akole Maluna, bottoms up.
Oh, where's our cocktails? Liquor.
Liquor.
Oh my.
Christian, if I wanted to get specific and go buy these two specific rums to make this drink, where are some of the best spots to purchase?
I believe you can find them pretty much at any good liquor store. Go see Tamora's. You can probably find it in Don Quixote. Go find it. Go see the guys at Fujioka's or R Fields. I'm sure if you look around enough, Art, there's a Kuliana at Safeway, and you can find Kuliana at Safeway. Certain labels.
Wow, I'm impressed, Safeway.
Yeah.
All right.
Game.
Christian, where can we follow you guys on social media and stay up to date on what's happening with Bevy moving forward?
You can find us at Bevy High, I believe it is. You can also find us at Kakaako. That's our little taco spot that we have open for lunch right now. But as soon as we know what's going on in the world, we'll kind of give you guys a heads up. You can find us right there on Instagram.
Awesome. Christian, thank
you. Everybody, thank you so much for joining us. Christian, of course, down there at Bevy. As soon as the apocalypse is over, get down there and grab yourself one of these traditional cocktails, or I implore you to ask Christian for one of his unique creations. He is by far one of the most creative and intelligent bartenders out there. It's just always a pleasure to sit at your bar. Christian, thank you so much for being with us today.
Thanks, guys. Stay
Christian,
safe, everybody, all right?
Thank you, Christian. Stay safe, buddy. Tomorrow, Wednesday, is our regular full-sized episode. We have a very special guest. He's a doctor who's been on the front lines. He's working in a local hospital ER. He wrote an article for Vice back in February that predicted everything that's going on right now. He was also a medical consultant on the Netflix show Pandemic. He's a Punahou boy, grew up in Hawaii Kai. Dr. Dara O'Connell will be on the show tomorrow for our regular hour-plus long episode. And boy, he has insight from the front lines. And I've been following him on Instagram these last few days. I mean, he's literally in the hospital ERs, and it's going to be an interesting podcast tomorrow. I'll say that.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us, everybody. Make sure you tune in tomorrow. Subscribe for more. Visit our website, malekoandflash.com, for all the latest updates. And the next time we'll be on the air. Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.